They gonna do that this year no way, so they go down.
They won't put it in.
Welcome everybody. Today is Monday, October the 5th. This is the Spring Hope Board of Commissioners meeting. The first item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I will ask everyone to please stand, remove your hats, face the flag, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm blocked in. The car's parked here, so somebody can move the car so I can get out, please. I'm sorry. There's a white car back there. I can't get out. I'm sorry.
First item I've got on my agenda is the minutes of the board meeting on September the 8th. Everyone's had a chance to read over them. If anybody have any changes that need to be made, I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I make a motion that we approve as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as written. There's no more discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carried. Next item I have on my agenda is Mark Cohn with film production in Spring Hope.
I'm not sure where you guys want me to stand. So we're coming tonight more of an informational thing, just to let the town know. I'm actually representing Stephanie Cone Lane, who is a producer and director based out of Hollywood, California. She is producing and directing an independent film, and it is centered around the town of Spring Hope, which is her father's hometown. and she is related to Brent, Mark, and myself. She's our cousin. The film initially started as a thought process for her when our grandmother passed away and our family was brought together. And she wanted to do a love story to the South and small town life, and basically kind of bring the family story about, well, when COVID hit, Hollywood shut down. So it's a new production. Her mother died in November, and Stephanie actually was on FaceTime with her when she passed away. So she decided to change the way the film is. The main character, whose name is Mabel, played by June Squibb, famous for the film Nebraska, is dying at Autumn Care of Nash. And she is trying to bring her family back together. Some of the other stars that you may be familiar with are Henry Winkler, The Bonds, Margot Martindale from Justified, and Hannah Montana, June Squibb, of course, Judy Greer, and a few others. But we will be doing a lot of shooting in downtown Spring Hope. Mark is in charge of the filming for this area. We'll also be doing a lot of filming on our family farm, which is the other base for the film. But we wanted to make you all aware that this is taking place, and it is hopefully going to put Spring Hope literally on the map. People will know where Spring Hope is, and to the best of my knowledge, in my research, we are the only Spring Hope in the United States. So when they refer to the town of Spring Hope, they're going to know that it's North Carolina. But there are a few businesses that are featured in the film. The barbershop is one of them. So Tammy is in the film. We're trying to get Mr. JC to also be in the film. My husband is in the film. And there's some other parts that are played by family members as well. So you may see some local town people in the film. But we just wanted to make everyone aware of what is going on and kind of bring a positive light of, to things. We're hoping the film will be released around Christmas. It is the only film in production as Hollywood is shut down. And the way that she's filming it is a unique situation. All the actors are filming from their own homes and their equipment. And so she is directing from her home in Hollywood, and it looks like one big, what would you say, Mark? Like a Zoom? Almost. So it's a unique film, and we're looking forward to it. She's already got a few large companies that are interested in purchasing the film. So we're hoping to really highlight the town in a positive way.
What's the name of the film?
The name of the name of the film is Shoot the Rooster, and it's a comedy, and it's a love story to the South. It's about a family. It started as about our family, but it's not our family. When you see it, you'll be like, that is not their family at all, because it's got a lot of twists and turns. But it is a comedy, and it is a love story to the South. But there's nothing political in it. There's nothing about religion in it. It is just truly a love story to a Southern hometown, and bringing family back together.
Anyone else have a question? Thank you. Next item I have on my agenda is Chamber of Commerce updates.
Good evening, everybody. As always, it's good to see you, Mayor and Commissioners. Thanks for welcoming me back each month. As many of you probably saw, maybe on WRAL or some of the news outlets, or maybe Commissioner Wilkins, Mayor, thanks for coming out Saturday. We did establish our first GPC weigh-off for the Great Pumpkin Commonwealth here in Spring Hook. We congratulated Mr. Terry Gross of Thomas, West Virginia on his 1,661.5 pound pumpkin. That was a long drive for him, but great success in doing that. We'd also like to congratulate Mr. Hank Houston of Virginia for setting the Virginia state record watermelon at 268 pounds. Also, Mr. H.C. Williams of Bailey set the North Carolina state record for the largest bushel gourd at 279.5 pounds. This event was made possible by a lot of volunteers that spent a lot of time preparing and executing the event, both local and regional volunteers, as well as about almost 30 sponsors. We were able to raise nearly $5,000 to execute prize structure, the best prize structure in these competitions in the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic regions. So we were very happy to push that forward and pull off that event. I know Chief Gant is not here tonight, but I did want to thank him and the rest. We did have one medical occurrence happen during the weigh off. A young lady fainted due to a condition that she had, and that officer acted very calmly with dignity to the family and the young lady, and we do appreciate his immediate response and help, as well as others. The Chamber would also like to welcome to Spring Hope a new LPA manager. As we all know that the Chamber operates the contract for the state for our local LPA. Mr. Johnson has left us for a great career opportunity, and we wish him all the best of luck over in Wilson as he starts there. Ms. Robin Cunningham of Tarboro will be joining us next week or so as our new LPA manager. In the interim, we will be running a few different business hours. We'll be closing from 12 to 1 so that our employee can go to lunch for her hour, and we'll be back to normal here in a few weeks. So if you would, if you see Robin out and about town, please welcome her and make her feel welcome. That's pretty much all I have for a chamber update. Commissioners or mayor have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next item I have on my agenda is old business. Chad? Is this a new one? I would have just gone to town attorney.
Nothing to report to the board tonight.
All right, that brings us up to EnviroLink.
Commissioners, Mayor. Busy month. A lot of cleanup in town. Several rounds and over a couple weeks of cleaning within the town. You know, the trees and the sidewalks, curbs, gutters, etc. Aside from that, no major events to report. We did have 45 total work orders completed in the month of September, 85 total rereads, also 7 water service turn-ons, 5 turn-offs. We had 7 leak investigations, whether to meter or otherwise. Did some cleaning of storm drains. We had several water quality concerns that we addressed, and then miscellaneous cleaning throughout. Water production was very steady with the water sold this past month, 2.84 versus 2.83 million gallons. And the wastewater facility runs clean and steady with a light month of rain with just under 5 inches of total precipitation. So it sums up the bulk of our report. If there's any questions from the town.
Do you have any questions, Stephen, from Carmen? I have one question, Mike. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, down there by Brantley and North Pine Street, on the end, I think it's by end of Strickland's on the end. There's some buses that come on that little bit of small road.
Okay.
And there's some of the trees and stuff are hitting the top of the bus. If you drive down there, you can see it hit the antenna on your car and stuff if you drive down there.
Oh, okay.
It's at the,
Inner Pine.
yeah, it's on Brantley and North Pine Street.
Brantley Pine.
Yeah, it's the trees and stuff are sagging over. And when the school buses go down through there, they're hitting all the buses and stuff down there.
That's it. Thank you.
I'll get with Sandra in the morning and put in a work order
Yeah,
give you
Brent,
a specific location on that one, yeah.
I do have one question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
What street is that the guy got on with me today on?
On Poplar Street.
Poplar Street, I just had, before I came in here, I had a guy send me pictures of, Poplar Street must have been flooded after it rained really bad. The pictures, it looked flooded pretty bad. But there appears to be the drains up by, if you're coming down where Tony's, funeral home is at, go down a little bit, it's the Winsteads live right here. It's right across from, Shaka Church. That whole vicinity, there must be an issue with the drains there because the pictures that he just sent me, the yard was completely flooded and it looked kind of bad.
Yeah, we'll
over here.
put in a work order for that too, check that out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Check it out this week, yeah.
And it's been trash on Gum Avenue, they like, it looks like she tore her floor out or something. It's been there for a month. It's out of the street, it's been there for a month on Gum Avenue.
Oh, yes.
Also on Branch Street, when you go up Branch Street, this way. There's trash all along that street. Trash. Needs to be cleaned up.
Is that Pine Street on your list too? Pine Street has, Spalding has,
Right in front of Tommy Tony House.
You need me to call in tomorrow for work order?
We'll determine what kind of debris it is, whether it's, debris from a home, like whether it would be potentially something that GFL will handle, or if
It's
it's
from her home,
yard.
because I remember she tore it out.
So is it floor that you tore out?
I think she tried the floor.
Okay, that's construction and demolition. Listen, she's gonna pick that up. She has to take that off herself.
She has to take it off herself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I told her, because he's been out there for a month.
and I think that's what's out across the street from Tommy Tony's house. It looks like an entertainment center or maybe some wood or something that's out
If it's
there.
just wood, they won't pick it up.
Okay.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the police chief's report.
Total cost for service for the month of September was 187, 91 vehicle stops, 3 vehicle accidents. There were 2 charges of offenses from the checkpoints, and all data was collected as of September 27th, 2020. Do you have any questions?
No, any questions? All right, we will do the manager's report next.
First item is an update from the fire department. There is going to be hydrants and testing and painting of the hydrants this month. Beginning on the 5th, the fire department will be painting hydrants. They are approximately scheduling around the 19th, but that'll have to be finalized with town staff if they will potentially do it any earlier when they start the hydrant testing. And again, that information, when we have a final date on that, will be disseminated by the town's website, our phone tree messaging system, or on social media as well. Update on our Poplar Street well. We're working again with Kevin Varnell, who has been in contact with an environmental engineer regarding our project from the public water supply. And again, they don't have an answer for us, but they did state that, again, this project was within their planned review department as of last week. So hopefully we'll know within the next couple of weeks on how to progress with next steps on that project. As far as the Bojangles project, they have received permits from NCDEQ to proceed with the sewer extension, but they are still waiting to receive their stormwater and erosion control approvals from the state. So once that's received, they should be getting their building permits from the county. And if I have a update on when they will potentially break ground or receive those permits, I will notify and let the board know when the updates in progress with that. one thing I didn't have on the manager's report is an update on another grant. I didn't get that information until late, but that's the AIA grant, the Asset Inventory Assessment through the state. And we are working with Matt Gay Associates with that project. And he informed us that right now they are working on the locations of the water system components. And so you may see somebody driving around town on a golf cart. Again, about 25% of the water system has been done. He'll be making frequent stops on the golf cart, shooting valves, hydrants, meters, taking pictures. This is part of the documentation and the inventory process. So they believe that they should get that portion of the project done within the next several weeks.
Anybody have any questions for the manager this evening?
I do. Do you have any updates on the ordinance that we passed last year with, or early this year, with the nuisance or the minimum housing? You gave us an update one meeting and I haven't seen one.
Are you talking about the nuisance as far as?
Yeah, as far as any findings or letters or contacts or anything like that.
No, I don't have a report or anything.
Okay. What I'd like for you to do going forward, that needs to be part of your manager's report. And we need to see updates of what you've done every month to enforce those ordinances, to whether it be letters. I mean, we still got a lot of buildings, homes, and things like that need to be taken care of. So we'd like to have I think I'm speaking. I hope I'm speaking for everybody. We'd like to have an update on where we stand on that. That needs to be a part of your report. And the other thing I want to ask about, first of all, I want to apologize for missing last month's meeting. I was exposed, didn't have it tested, but just to be safe, I did stay home. But in the previous month, we passed an ordinance to allow automotive repair in central business, and part of that was that we wanted to bring everyone into compliance. You were going to go back to the planning board and talk to, and we asked you to do a town-sponsored ordinance to come back and bring everybody into compliance. We'll set the months or however long it would take for them to come into compliance, and I just want to know where we stand on that.
Right now, we're working with Mark and his associates are working on that, and they should be getting that to me shortly.
Right, it should be going to the October meeting of the planning board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be getting it to Jay soon, so that's it, it'll go to the October planning board meeting.
So we should be able to possibly vote on it in November?
Yes.
Who handles the lighting of the town?
Are you talking about the
Street,
lights?
like the street lights, because some of our main streets, when you're going down these streets, Nashville one, when you're heading down towards Food Line, those streets are so dark at night. So I know there's one light that I've seen that has LED in it, but a lot of those lights, it's dark on these streets.
The street lights are maintained by Duke Power. And if there are any issues with any lights being out, the town reports that to them. So last month, I did speak with the police chief. We had another officer who did that routinely on their shift, but he's no longer with the department. So they have just passed that along to another officer to take over that. And so we're in the process of getting that person trained to submit the reports to our front office staff so that can be reported to the power company. So we're working on that now.
Are they able to, because some of the lights aren't out, they're just, I don't know if they're dim or, because there's some are, you still can't really see with the lights still being on. So what do we have to do to get better lighting, or does Duke Power handle that and we have to pay extra? What happens with that?
There are programs where if the town wants to convert over to LED, we will have to pay for that. I'm not sure what that fee is. Obviously, I can reach out and contact them, but there is a fee where you will have to transition over the rest of the lighting for that project.
Thank you.
My last item I have on mine is other business. And I'll start on my left with Commissioner Wilkins.
I think the question that I have a lot of people who's been asking me lately is where the city limits as opposed to the outside of city limits. I've been getting a lot of questions on that. One of the questions that I was asked by a business owner here is why he was told that he couldn't have, I guess, the gambling machine in his facility. And because he said he was told that because it's inside the city limits, but, and I may be wrong with my assumption, but isn't the big gambling spot inside the city limits too?
So that, we have to talk about specifically which location you're referring to, but I have had multiple people reach out to our office about wanting to establish that type of business. I did give them the zoning information. So basically it's allowed in the LI and HI zoning districts, light industrial and heavy industrial zoning districts. But on top of that, there's regulations specifying what they can and can't do within those districts as well too. And so it's, I think some people found it difficult to find specific buildings that would meet all of those requirements. I believe there's even a distance between one that's already established. You have maybe, I believe it was 1,000 feet. It can't be within another one as well too. So that individual that I spoke with was having a difficult time finding a location in town that would meet all of those requirements. But you know, everyone who's contacted me, I provided them a copy of the zoning map showing where all of the different parcels are located and where they could generally find light and heavy industrial zoning districts. And then I also included typically the regulations regarding electronic gaming machines as well too.
Sorry, I shifted them to you. If they contact me, I shift them to you because I'm not familiar with none of that.
Right, and that's, it's very difficult to find one right now that would meet those parameters, and so you know, it's possible they could find a vacant light and heavy industrial zoning district where they could potentially build, but obviously they would rather try to find something that's already established instead of putting money into that kind of investment of building from the ground up a building. So, but. And then I did have a lot of interest in people wanting to put that type of establishment in a central business district multiple times. And I had to tell them that currently the way that our ordinance is written, it doesn't allow for it in the central business district. And many of the people were looking initially in their first spots or first couple of choices were all buildings within the downtown, the central business district.
And how old are these ordinances? Are these things that's been sitting on the books for a very, very long time?
I'm not sure when they were originally implemented.
1 to 2 years.
But they've been amended within the last couple of years as well too, but yeah.
They're very recent.
I think the first one was done, there was a central business gaming, that the ordinance was put in place that it was not allowed anymore. That's probably been, what, 10 years ago, first one? Yeah.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Is that it?
Yes.
Commissioner Kane?
Well, I don't have anything.
Yes, sir.
Yes, who owns that establishment down there?
You would have to talk with Nash County Department of Deeds. I don't know who the exact owner is, unless it's still, who was the guy that had the auto shop? It's the son did own it.
You don't know who owns you don't know who operates that building?
I know who originally owned it, but I think he's been bought out by his partners. Sir?
I'm not talking about the back. I'm talking about who owns it now. There's a lot of activity out on the outside of that building.
As far as I know, Steve Baxter is still the owner of the property.
Well, somebody's got to be rented from it because Steve is no longer in that business.
Okay, so are you, I see what you're asking. You're asking who owns the actual gaming.
Gaming, right.
Gaming, okay. He's asking who owns the gaming facility, not the actual building, right? Okay.
Well, the original applicant for the business, for the permitting process was Steve Batchelor. So if he sold his shares or whatever he's done with the business, I don't have an update on that. I did know that he had a silent partner, and I didn't know who that silent partner was.
So I can go to Steve, and Steve will hopefully give me the information I'm looking for.
Yeah, you could reach out to Steve, yes.
Isn't this, public, knowledge that you can go to Nashville and find out anything or any of the ordinances that have been amended? He can go, or we can get a copy of the original amendments that you all had, the original ordinances that you have, and what has been amended. And anything that you want to know, you can go to Nashville and ask for public records, right?
No, you would ask the public records request through town hall, through the town clerk.
Okay.
So you would send an email or a letter asking for the updates, but you can email me and I can give you, so anyone who's asked for the ordinances, I've given them what the most current ordinances are in our books, but I do have copies of what they were before they were amended or changed as well.
Yes,
If that's something specifically you want, then yes, you just submit a request asking for that.
Okay, and the part he's asking about the business is not yet public record in Nashville?
It is online as well.
Mm-hmm.
The register of deeds
Mm-hmm.
is online, and that you can look at deeds, and then you can also look at the Nash County Tax Office, and that shows you the tax records, and, which also has the tax map, so that's all online.
Okay.
But that tells you the owner of the property.
Yeah, right, and yeah.
The property, not the business.
All the ordinances, are the ordinances linked on our website? The ordinances are online, you can look at all the ordinances online.
Okay.
But that's the current ordinance, not.
Yeah,
not
I'm talking about
They want to see
the
the previous
original
copy
ones.
before it was changed, yes, you have to ask for that.
Correct, but I mean, if you're just looking for any of Spring Hope's ordinances, they're online.
Right, but I want the original ones so I can see the ones that have been amended. And I have to get that from you, right, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Griffin?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Lucas?
No,
Commissioner Tucker?
No.
There's no other business, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Excuse me. He didn't get his question now.
I'm good with that. I have another one. I would like an update on the status of the permit process of St. Stephen's on Pine Street.
I'm trying to follow up with, I guess you work with the engineering firm with Mackey Associates.
Right.
So I'm following up with them, and that's something that I'm gonna talk to them about scheduling for a meeting for the Board of Adjustment. That's the board that's gonna listen to it, but it makes up the majority of this board, so that's in the process.
The last thing I have before I take a vote to adjourn is Thursday of this week, there'll be a blood drive here at the community building. Sure the Red Cross could appreciate all help they can get. And with that said, all in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. We are adjourned.